All right. Hey, everybody. Today is day 2 of our live quilt and craft with me. Okay, today is really fun. We're gonna make something that is easy and fast. And this is something I have made for years. It's kind of an old bazaar type product for, I don't know, most of you probably don't remember what a church bazaar is, but this is something I helped my mom make even when I was a kid, and we would sell tons of them just because they're so much fun. And I've made them for all my nieces and nephews for Christmas. And this year I'm making them for all my grandkids and nieces and nephews because it's been 20 years. So this is a rough and tough version, these cute little frogs. This one's been very well loved, but look how cute these things are. This is one my mom made. So this is more than 15 years old and it's seen some love with the kids, but look what she did. The bottom is flannel. You can see it's all worn. The top is just a batik and she used buttons for eyes. So today, let me switch cameras on you. Today we're making chocolate frogs. Okay, here's this camera. So this is the fabric we're going to use today. Chocolate. We're going to do chocolate frogs. These are some others my mom made. They're not quite stuffed yet, but she used little button eyes. You can see the little buttons, and those are great. This one, she chose to use little Velcro. I don't know if you can see that, but they're just Velcro circles, and she hand stitched them on. But they work. You can use felt. You can just use other colors. Today, so here's some buttons just to show you. And then you can also buy these eyes. And these are just black eyes. And those are great. Today I've chosen to use these kind of lizardy eyes. So these are the eyes we're going to use today. And they come with this little backing. And once you put the backing on, you can't get it off. These are really, I'm choosing these because my grandbabies are young. And it's not much of a choking hazard because they're really difficult. You need pliers to pull them apart. So that's what we're using today on the eyes. I'm going to set those aside. Here's some other options. So there's all sizes of eyes. You don't have to have the lizardy eyes. I just thought those were cool. So, and then here's a bag with kind of regular eyes, all colors. They come in every color. All right. We are going to make a big frog today. Where did I put my pattern? We're going to make a really big one. These are small. These you can see the difference. We've got the little one, and here, let me move the fabric. And then the second, you can see how there's two sizes. Now, the third size is this really big one. It's not even gonna fit in the camera. So this is what we're gonna work on today with chocolate fabric. When you get the patterns, you will get all 3 sizes. So that's kind of fun. I had originally cut out a minky, and I'll show you that. Let me just clear the field here. I originally planned on doing this giant frog out of 2 colors of minky. So front and back would be these two. I'm not going to sew that together today. I'm having some sewing machine glitches, which is par for the course. My machine will not sew on minky this week. So we're gonna do a chocolate frog, which is fine. I was prepared, I had it all cut out, but then realized my machine wasn't gonna work. So we're gonna cut out a chocolate frog. And that'll be fun because that's kind of what I love anyway. All right, let's clear everything out of the way. And you're going to need 2 pieces. And this, let's see, how much waste are we going to have? Okay, we're going to need to unfold that. Now, I told you yesterday that I I don't have a lot of space here because of the cameras and I have a pretty good sewing room, but I don't have a lot of space because I'm trying to get everything in for you guys to see it on the camera. So some of it's off camera, some of it's on. We do our best. This frog's a little long. I probably should have done a little one, but where's the fun in that? All right, while I'm laying out this fabric and this pattern, let me talk to you a little bit about this week. If you've missed out this week on what we're doing. If you, I don't know, maybe a friend sent you their email. I sent out the emails and I said, please share with your friends. So if you got the link for today's live or you're watching a replay and you don't have, if you are not on my email, you cannot get these patterns free. So if you want all the patterns for this week, you need to be on my email list so that I can send out a replay of each day and the pattern. So what you need to do is go over to my website. Go over to Hot Chocolate Quilt Company, hotchocolatequiltcompany.com, and a little pop-up comes up, and there's where you're going to fill in your email. And then you'll get tomorrow's link. And it's the same. Every day this week is the same. We're going to be live through Saturday. And your link will be the same every day. And each day you'll get a replay of the day before. And at the end of the week, if you haven't gotten them already, at the end of the week, you'll get everything. So you get all the patterns. And then because I'm writing a pattern that's behind me right now, you'll see it in a minute when I switch cameras, but I'm writing a pattern. It may take me until Monday to get that quilt done. Okay, I know I've said I don't usually use pins, but for this project, we're going to pin it down, especially because it's a little slippery in my small space today. All right. So we're going to pin that down a little bit. It's up to you how many pins you throw in there. I'm cutting double, my fabric's double. You'll get this pattern in a PDF format and it'll come out on, it takes 4 pieces of paper from your printer. So but it'll print out and I'll have it so that you can see A, B, C, D, 4 pieces. All right, I'm working off camera, sorry. This is just a little bit bigger pattern than what we've done. All right, it's almost ready to cut. Okay, now you can, if you, you can do it with scissors, you can do whatever. I just don't really think it matters. So I'm just coming in with my rotary cutter. I like to do things fast. They're probably not as, some of you are a little bit more perfectionist and have a little bit prettier finished product than I do. But there's just days where I have to just get it done. So I use a rotary cutter pretty much for everything. And it doesn't matter when you're done because the finish is kind of hidden inside. All right. Where did I start over here? I don't know why I thought chocolate frogs would be fun, but it's just because I'm a little bit of a Harry Potter addict. Between the Harry Potter and the Lego addictions, I don't know how I have time to quilt. Oh, and then the chocolate addiction. So I guess the chocolate frog fits right in. All right, we've got half of him as it wants to slide onto the table. All right, let's finish this way. You'll be able to cut a lot better because you can spread out. I just have this little tiny space I'm working with today because of the cameras. So I'm starting to adapt this week to this space. I think I cut off his toe. Okay. All right, I'm gonna stop here. As soon as we get him cut out, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna show you, I'm just gonna remind you of what we did yesterday in case you didn't see it. Yesterday was a fun day. We pretty much just kind of I winged it. I had a pattern in my head. And so then yesterday we made that pattern happen. So that was kind of fun. I need another pin. I've dropped them all. So I use a safety pin. All right, now let's do the inside of these legs. This is gonna be a long, lanky frog, and I'll show you. I have a demo of him. It's not fun fabric. It's just when I made this pattern up, because we had the old pattern and it was one my mom made up years ago, but I wanted this long, lanky one. So when I made this pattern up, I didn't want to waste a lot of minky fabric because that was my intention to put them in the minky. So I made up a little demo just in some muslin. I'll show you that in 1 second. Okay, he's now cut out. All right, let's switch cameras on you and we're gonna talk a little bit about yesterday and I'll show you this little demo. Okay, switching cameras, sorry, a little slow. All right, where's that button? Okay, so here's the funky demo. Look how long his legs are. He's so great. And he sits really fun. The kids my grandkids have even played with this demo and he's just fun. So when we get him made out of chocolate, this is what he's gonna look like. All right, let's just back up a little and chat about yesterday, because yesterday's project was really fun. Okay, here is the yesterday's pattern. It's not showing up great, the colors don't show up, but we used this fun product right here. And then last night I washed it, so everything is raw edge. And when you wash it, this all frays, and then these all fray, and the edges, you can see the edges, they all fray. So kind of hard to see on this camera, but this little pillow, so we just I winged it, I cut it, I used a 5x5 stacker, and then we used the Riley Blake ribbon and just an old button from Grandma to hold it close. So this is basically a pillow cover. And cameras, come on. Here, I'm gonna switch and let you see it from top view. But I use my grandma's buttons. I've been collecting those for ever and ever. Some of them might be my great grandma's, but okay, there you go. That's a lot better picture. And then a 5x5 stacker, because I had one and I didn't know what to do with it. There wasn't enough in that stacker to make anything else. So this was kind of fun. All right, so I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the rest of the week. Tomorrow, I have a block of the month type pattern I'm going to show you, teach you how to make that block. You can turn it into a quilt. I'm just going to go through one block. But then if you were to make, you could do 3 rows of 3 or 4x5 rows and sash it and make a bigger quilt. So tomorrow, that's what we're going to do. Thursday, we'll be doing a tier tray. If you're not familiar with tier trays, they are all the rage and they are so much fun. So if you're curious, I've got some fabric, I've got some paint, I've got some paper, a little bit of wood. So we're gonna do some real crafting and it's all very simple. Next week, I'm launching, or on Wednesday, I'm launching some new subscription boxes. So those boxes will be available tomorrow or Thursday through next Wednesday. I'll open the cart and those will be available. And then I'll close the cart next Wednesday and ship on the 15th. And I think the 15th is that, let's see, oh, that gives us 2 weeks. So you'd have from the 2nd through the 9th to decide if you want to subscribe to one of the subscription boxes. I've got new ones coming. So you'd have the 2nd through the 9th to sign up for those. So that is what's coming. And then on, I don't know, Friday, I think Friday, I have a video I've already recorded, which I'm very grateful. I'm going to teach you how to quilt, how to sew on Minky. I've got a cute little quilt kit that comes from Shannon Fabric, and they come in all designs and sizes and colors. And so I'm going to walk you through how to make that. And when you are finished, everything comes in the kit to completely finish it. You'll quilt it yourself. It's very simple because it's kind of a quilt as you go. But I want you not to be afraid of Minky because everybody is a little bit afraid of it. So Friday, we're going to talk about that. And Saturday, this quilt behind me is one I've designed, and we're going to make a treat quilt. So you want to get on my email by going to my website at hotchocolatequiltcompany.com. Wait for the little pop-up, and then just put in your email. And I don't know what it's going to tell you. It might say, welcome, you're on the wait list, something like that. You will get all the emails. Anybody that goes in between now and Monday will get all these emails. You'll just get all the replays and all the patterns. Okay, enough about business. Let's get going. All right. So the first thing, I'm going to switch cameras on you again. The first thing we want to do is put these eyes on. You have to do the eyes very first because it's too hard to access them. So if you're doing, like right now I'm doing all one color fabric, but if you're doing different sides, figure out which, if you're doing a blue and an orange, then pick the one that you want to be the top and where you want your eyes. All right, so we're gonna pick, let's see, I wonder, I guess those are the same. Wow, that's pretty weird that it cut like that. Cut so perfectly. We are going to figure out where we want the eyes. I think I'm just gonna put them right here. So I'm just gonna do a little tiny, tiny opening. Now, if you have a round punch would be best. If you have a round punch, if you do a round circle, you have less chance of the eyes fraying out. So these are so simple. Just make a little hole, push the eye. Can you see me? Sometimes I get out of view of the camera. Push the eye through. I'll bring this camera down just a little bit, see if I can do it without it tipping over. Okay, not gonna tip over. All right, so I've pushed the eye through the hole, and then I'm just gonna take this little piece that comes with it. I'm just gonna, I think it goes the other way. I'm gonna push it this way, and you just push it down as hard as you can. Those are not good. They're a little wiggly, but they're not coming off. So you're good. Okay. Same with the other one. Find the other hole. Maybe I put these on upside down. I'm going to try this one the other way just because I've not used these eyes before. This is probably the proper way. Yeah, that's not as loose. Okay, so now we've got our eyes. Look how easy that was. They might be a little close together, but I don't think the Granberry babies care. Okay, so we've got the eyes on. Now, put your fabrics right sides together. You can pin them if you'd like. You can go ahead and pin. And then what I want you to do is take one of your, you may have a blue marking pen. I'm just going to use a regular pen today. And I want you to mark right here. Oh, my red pen's not going to work. Let me get my wax pencil. 1 second. All right, I want you to just mark maybe 2 inches. This is where you're going to leave a hole. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. All right, I've got some red markings. They're a little hard to see, but you will see yours. So you can use either a air or water soluble. It doesn't really matter. You could just use a pen. It'd be just fine. But I don't want you to sew between those dots. You're going to leave that opening because you need to be able to flip this frog inside out And then you need to stuff in. So this is really a fast project, you guys. All right, I'm just gonna talk at you while I sew because like I said yesterday, I don't really have a third camera to watch me sew, and I'm sure I'll tip over all the cameras if I try and move everything around. Besides, you know what it looks like to sew. All right, I'm using a 1/4" foot, and I'm just stitching all the way around from that first red mark to the second one, and make sure you back stitch. You want to back stitch because you're going to put a lot of tension on that little hole as you flip it and you fill it. Wow, my sewing machine's working today. We're in luck. It's been jamming up on me all week. I thought I was going to have to call and phone a friend and call in a favor, borrow, or go buy a new machine all of a sudden. I think I made too many Niki projects this week or last week, and I think I just need to get out the can there and do a good cleaning. All right, this little frog is halfway sewn, so I always stress a little. I hate that you are just gonna hang in while I sew. Don't really want it to take your whole day, but this is such a fast little project. I didn't even pin. You guys, you probably should pin. Most of my life I don't pin, and it shows in my work. Okay, I promise it shows in my work. Okay. If you have any questions, it's a really good time to pop in over there on the chat, and if there's anything you questions about. Coming into the home stretch here. Oh, not right. I guess I'm just on the other side. It's a little bit bigger frog than you think. It'll be fun. All right, I should explain why I'm doing Zoom instead of Facebook. Facebook lately has not really been my friend. I'm so technically challenged, I can't even find the go live button. It doesn't show up for me. I found it last night and did a quick little short one. It's very unpredictable. I have scheduled lives. I put scheduled lives and I'll go in and I know I've done everything correctly, but it is not allowing me to push the go live button. I didn't want to risk it this week, so I decided that I would just go on Zoom. I absolutely love Zoom. I love that you can talk to me. I love that you can text me. Okay, we're gonna back up here because I'm out of bobbin. Funny, I put in a new one last night, but I guess we're using more than I think. Anyway, I love Zoom. I love that we can chat and you can ask questions, and just because of the unpredictability of Facebook, I opted out on that. Plus, it's a little easier to get the recordings of my Zooms and send them to you than it is the recordings of Facebook Live. So that way you know you'll get a recording. All right, back in business. Facebook has also decided that everything on Facebook that's older than, I think it's 90 days, they are deleting. So if I wanted to put it live, it would be very short-lived. So this way, all these videos, you'll get them in an email, and they'll link you to my YouTube channel. And that's where they'll be housed. So even if you lose your email and you want to go, you still want to go back and watch them, they'll be on my YouTube channel. And if once you go watch one of these lives over there, or one of these recordings over on YouTube, you can subscribe over there, and then you get notifications when I put something new in. Okay, now that we've sewn this frog almost 2 times because of the bobbin, we're coming into the home stretch and go around the head now. Yeah, they should have, when you do it, you should probably put your eyes on the top because I've got them on the bottom and it's gonna make it not lay as smooth. So just a tip when you're doing that, make sure, I'm gonna flip him over. Just put your eyes up on the top because your head will be wonky if you don't. Okay, we're almost there. Such a fast project. I think what I'm going to do, and this is probably a good suggestion, is, and it's gonna make you wait again, but what I would think we should do is zigzag, go back and zigzag. So now you've done like a little 1/4 inch seam. Go back and do a zigzag right on the edges. Just because these are gonna get played with and you don't want them coming apart. They're an easy fix, but. So when you make yours, go and zigzag. I'm not gonna make you wait for me to do that. So I would need to change presser feet. And this is just a display. I'll probably end up making to these chocolate frogs. They're gonna be fun. I think this is maybe I'll use all my chocolate fabrics and do this for the Christmas gifts. Okay. So now we've got our frogs sewn together. And if you go along and let's see, I've got a screen in front of me. Let me do this so I can see where I'm at. You can see I've just gone around and done a 1/4 inch all the way around. You're gonna zigzag in between your stitch and the edges. Just go zigzag it. All right. Then go back to your hole or the little markings that you left, and you're gonna reverse this. Most people are familiar with, I don't know, maybe not. This is kind of a clothing thing, I guess. If you've sewn clothing, you're used to reversing, doing sleeves and all kinds of things, and reversing. All right, this big one, he's gonna flip a lot faster than those little ones. They're a little tedious. This one's not so bad because you can get your fingers inside and pull. There. So we're just gonna flip him inside out and then we're gonna stuff him. Now, when we were making these, back when we were making these for the church bazaar, we filled them with beans and rice. Oh, I've got a little hole. Let me fix that. I missed the corner as I came around. That's why you want to zigzag, double check your work. Yeah, we would use beans and we would use rice. And the other thing about that is then you can throw them in a microwave and use them as a heating pad. I think this one's full of rice. The hard thing about rice is they will start to smell after a while. They'll just have a real ricey smell, which I don't know if it matters. I don't know if the kids care. You can't wash it. You cannot wash one with rice in it. The stuffing we're going to use today, you can wash. So I'm choosing stuffing. Beans and rice are great if you want to do that. Man, I'm hurrying too fast because I'm missing some stitches here. Let me fix my spots that I missed. Okay. So if you'll get all 3 patterns. So if you wanted to make those little if you wanted to fill them with rice and then you microwave them for a heating pad, this size is so great. The kids can like snuggle it on their neck or when they're sick, or even the adults, it fits your neck really well. both sizes. The big one, I don't know, it'd be pretty heavy. This would be pretty heavy if you had it filled with rice. I don't think that would be great. Okay, if you have a stylus or a tool for pushing the corners out on your quilting, you would want to go along the seams and push, just kind of push out the seams. I forgot to pull this arm. Make sure everything's pulled out. Push it out really good with a stylus. And no, I'm not using all the professional tools. I don't even know where my stylus is. I've moved this sewing room in and out so many times that I'm still missing some things. All right, let's just push all those out. Make sure, and when you're pushing them out, you can make sure if you have holes. If you didn't quite stitch everything, go back and stitch it before you finish. All righty. Okay, now I'm just using some soft craft polyester fiber. Have that one, and I don't even know if you can get this anymore, but this is a premium polyester fiber in a 5-pound box. I just bought it because I do so many things. I got tired of the little tiny, you can get the little 2-ounce packs, but they're just way too small. Okay, you may need some kind of a tool. I use a hemostat for pretty much everything when I do things like this. So you can take your fluff and push it through the hole, and you can get it all the way down into those legs. Because this is the tedious part, is stuffing the legs. Okay. So I'm pulling those forward a little bit. And I'm just gonna stuff and stuff and stuff and oh, this is where we should pause and I should come back with it full, because this is probably gonna take longer than the sewing. But you're gonna need a lot of stuffing for this big one. All right. So here's where the hemostats come in, because it's stuck in the middle of his thigh. So we're just going to take the hemostat and push. You can use a stylus. You can use the end of your scissors. Just be careful not to poke holes. I like hemostats because they grab, and they're kind of fun. They sell them at some of the quilt shows. Okay, we've got his toe. His toe's done. It's going to use a lot of fiber fill. I would use a ton of beans or rice. All right, I know this is not really a quilty thing, but I think sometimes as quilters we need some crafty ideas too, and we need quick gifts. And I know if when I would make these with my mom as a kid, I can't believe that I was probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 or 8 or so when I was helping her make these. And a kid can do it. But we would stack, cut the fabric, and that was back before rotary cutters. So we would stack the fabric and cut a whole bunch at a time, and then we would just mass produce them. So that's what I plan to do for the grandkids, is I'll just spend an hour and cut out 20 or 30. I don't know how many kids and nieces and nephews we have. I'll just cut them all out in one day and just probably have to get a movie and do the stuffing while I watch a movie for that many, but that's okay too. All right. Now you can stuff them tight if you want. This one I'm stuffing pretty tight compared. This guy, he's really loose. So you can see he's really loose. This one I'm stuffing pretty full. So you can decide what level of thickness you want. Might as well just get a whole pile because we're gonna be kneading it. Oh, I guess you can't really see my pile. That's good. That's good. You can't see the mess. All right. Start. Let's see. I've got one leg done. So I think, I don't know, how are we doing on time? I just hate to make you watch me do dumb things, but I'm just gonna keep stuffing. Okay. All right, so I paused a little and stuffed this guy because I didn't want you to have to wait around for me to do that. So when you're stuffing, when you get done, I want you to you want to play with him a little, make sure he'll sit. You want to play with him and see if you can get him to sit, because if he's too overstuffed, he won't sit. So you may have to adjust. I'm gonna just adjust it a little bit. I think he's a little overstuffed. I'm going to pull out some filling. We're going to play with that a little bit. So that's something you'll want to do. Just make sure he's not too fluffy. Okay. Now you have this little hole right here. So all you're going to do with that hole is you're going to pull him tight. I'm going to switch cameras to show you what I'm doing. You're going to pull it tight and pin it. So let's move over here. All right. I don't know what oh, there's no pins. I knocked him sideways. Okay, you are going to take this opening. You can see that opening. Push your stuffing down out of your way. Take it, put both pieces together like this, and then you're going to pin it right here. You're going to take it to your sewing machine and you're just going to do a stitch from here to here, and you're going to back stitch it. And I'm going to do it in white so you can see it. Normally, I would match your fabric color, like probably a brown would be great, but because I want you to be able to see it on the camera, I'm going to do it in white. I'll bring that over here and then I'll bring it back and show you. I think I've got a Coke in the way. The Coke and the water, they're all kind of in the way back here for this frog's big head. Okay. A little bit of a back stitch, and you'll see it. It'll be messy. Pins away. Depending on how big your opening was, if you had a bigger opening, you'll have a bigger stitch here. Won't matter if you match it. It won't matter at all. Okay. All right. Now I'll show you the finish here of how that finishes up. Okay, so you can see my stitch. It's not pretty. I need to trim it, but you can see I've just gone right along there. And my machine is skipping again, it's doing a little skipping, but just lay it along, stitch it. The kids aren't gonna know. Give it a good fluff, and now you've got a finished frog. So let me hold him up for you. Okay, now you have this cute little finished chocolate frog. Isn't he awesome? He kind of looks like a gingerbread man, but when you see it in person and you have those big eyes, anyway, he's a fun frog. So you can see the difference in the size. You'll be getting all three patterns again and all three sizes. And maybe this kind of chocolate fabric isn't the greatest. Maybe you want just your flannels and your cottons. This is a really good use of scraps. If you've got some old scraps laying around, this is a really good use. So feel free to experiment, and I would love to have you post any of the things you've done this week. Can't even get him in the camera. I would love to have you post anything you've made this week. I'd love to see your finished projects. Funky frogs. Okay. I would love to see your project posted on my Facebook. It would be really fun to see and have you share what you're working on and what you finished. I'd love to see the pillows that you're making from yesterday's pattern and see the color combinations that you come up with. I will have kits available on my website later. After you all get your patterns, there will be a link to all the kits. So I definitely have kits for the chocolate quilt, the treat quilt. I have all kinds of borders and all kinds of fun chocolate and fruit, pizza, burgers, strawberries, blueberries, lots of different chocolates. So this can be made with any fabrics, but it is called the treat quilt, and it is really fun to make out of various treat fabrics. So that's coming Saturday. You don't want to miss it. All right, I will let you go for today. I don't want to take up all of your time. And you'll get this replay tomorrow, sometime between 3 and 4, with a link again to join me. All right, thanks for coming, and hope to see you the rest of the week.